Greetings and welcome to the Prime Directive. I'm your host Jefficho. My co-host as always, Chris. Say hi, Chris.
Hello.
So, Chris, we're out of Star Trek. So, why don't we review Buck Rogers in the 25th century?
I can think of a lot of reasons. But yeah, we already did it, so we're gonna yell about
You
it.
saw the trailer, and you know what? When you were just like, hey, Jeff, could you play that second episode so I can see the quality drop? I was like, I hope we just sit here and watch this, and then be like, that was terrible too. Play the next one.
Can it keep getting worse? There were some things that weren't terrible. We can try and talk to them in order.
Yeah, try.
But this was definitely schlock.
You know, I'm glad we did start that next episode because that opening song, man, it's been a long time since I've heard something like that.
Oh, has it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just, that gave me Enterprise vibes, except worse.
Yeah.
Like
Our song's not working.
Slowest song.
Oh, like for the first episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was brutal. I was like, is this the entire movie?
And then this is like a glowy Buck Rogers sign, and this girl's sitting here, and then she's sitting over here.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
all right.
I mean, that's absolutely what we were going for.
I mean,
It's like, do you like
defense.
Do you like hot chicks and explosions?
1979.
Yeah.
So we have TOS and Battlestar Galactica to compare to.
Mm-hmm. Well, when was Star Wars?
I have a little bit of Star Wars.
Yeah, that would have been about the same year, right?
Battlestar stole from Star Wars too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. No, especially with the way the Vipers go out.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Very similar.
Mm-hmm. In the far-off distant future of 1987,
Yeah.
Buck Rogers gets launched out by NASA, and something bad happens. And he gets frozen in his spacecraft, and he ends up orbiting back to Earth 500 years later. Sick. Okay, cool. Good.
Nobody
Good
touched him
setup.
for 500 years.
Good setup. Kind of Farscape. A little bit Farscape. Like, we're not time traveling, but yeah, we jump up in our NASA thing and we get fucked off somewhere, you know?
Yeah, well, think about it. If they just threw him over to another area, that would be Farscape.
That would be Farscape if we traveled in distance and not time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And still horny.
He's just
Still horny.
Still
yeah,
as
I see
horny,
where, okay, yeah. Actually, I see where Farscape got a lot from. All right.
Crichton Buck.
Yeah. I can absolutely see this.
Better references from Crichton.
Mm-hmm.
We get I'm going to say Draconian worship.
Oh, fuck, sorry, I want to keep talking about Crichton. See, the difference between Buck and Crichton is Crichton immediately figured out no one got his references and then just fucking barreled through it anyway. He just kept making them. And Buck was just like, oh, you don't know about the Trojan horse? I guess that's fine. Crichton would have committed to that bit and he would have started yelling about Helena of Troy.
He would have.
Yeah.
And Farscape is a far superior film.
Indeed.
So I think it's a Draconian worship.
Yes.
I'm not going to remember all the names.
Yeah, Draconian. It looked very Ferengi at the start.
Yeah. It is we got a lot of shots of it, which I like.
Yeah, well, it was a fairly impressive model. Like, there was a lot of detail on there. They really liked zooming in and showing all the bits and bops on it.
Yeah. They sent out these ships and they shoot a Buck ship.
Mm-hmm.
But then after one shot, they're like, it's not even moving. It's completely adrift.
Yeah.
Let's bring it in.
Credit to NASA for that ship not immediately exploding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it looked like it just kind of grazed. They try force field it in and then just release it and let it go.
I guess there's, you're passing it along to the tractor beam on their ship. That's fine.
Yeah.
Sci-fi things happen.
Meet Kane and the princess.
Yeah.
Henry Silva played Kane. He is in a lot of shit. I'm going to say a lot of schlocky, as you say.
A lot of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I found their dialogue, especially at the their first scene together, was incredibly stilted.
I felt he was delivering a lot of useful information to us.
Yes. Yeah, it was very stilted, and we were just doing that. And I don't know enough about these people to blame the actors or the direction or just the writing, but it was very reading my lines off notes.
You're not sure why? Is this a puzzle for me to decipher?
The puzzle is for me to decipher. The ship is antiquated, unlike anything I've seen in the star system, or outside of history books for that matter.
Kane, please.
Wake Buck up, bring him out of cryogenics, because they have the best cryogenics technology.
Sure, why not?
And apparently all the gases, a bunch of different gases, were just perfect amount to freeze him for those 500 years.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not even mad at that. Sure. There was a freak accident and it cryo-froze you, and now we're waiting. Like, it doesn't matter. It's like the first episode of Futurama. Just get him into the future, and then we'll have a show.
It'd be funny if, like, they accidentally broke off a frozen pinky, and then you wake up and be like, what the?
It's okay, we can regrow those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get Buck trying to talk to them, but he's a little bit out of it, so they give him drugs, and he's more out of it.
Much more out of it.
Just starts laughing.
You're
a princess.
having a giggle. Having a giggle, mate.
Are you a real live princess?
I think we've given our captain a little too much medication.
No, I feel great.
Basically thinks it's a dream almost.
Mm-hmm.
And then they decide to throw him back on his ship.
Just operate that heavy machinery, man. It'll be fine.
And send him back down to Earth.
Buck is taking everything so well. Like, he's just like, oh yeah, these advanced fighter planes must be Russian. Like,
well,
I
I know it was 1987 there, but maybe he's a holdover the acid days of the hippies in the 70s.
Maybe, man. I don't know. It took
79.
him way too long to clue into this shit.
Oh, that was probably, I will say that was probably one of the biggest criticisms is we figured it out, but we're waiting for our character to figure it out. Who's supposed to be our lead and should be the smartest person in it.
He's certainly the most competent person left in the universe. But yeah, like, I was just watching, like, is he dumb? Is he supposed to be dumb?
NASA sends their best out there.
Yeah, like, which admiral's son is this? Like,
Earth has the defense shield, so Kane thinks that they'll probably just blow him up anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But he put a secret tracker device on there so that they could figure out shield frequencies and all that shit.
Yeah.
Because they're actually heading there to make a peace treaty, theoretically, with Earth.
Yeah.
When we give the signal, that guide map would be used by your father's attack forces to pour through their defense shield.
And what if our Captain Rogers is not a spy?
Then he will burn.
I still am not sure whether or not the princess's faction is human, or if they're supposed to be some alien species, because they referred to his craft as an alien craft. So aliens must exist, because they're just like, oh, that's some alien thing.
Oh.
So is this the TOS thing where aliens look exactly the same as us, or is this some offshoot of humanity that doesn't live on Earth anymore?
It's hard to say because they did say Kane was from Earth.
Yeah, Kane specifically was, but that seemed to be just his thing.
But like maybe it's like Battlestar where colonies went off.
Yeah,
and
like they didn't
I'm not
say
from Earth. I'm from this planet.
Yeah, they didn't say you're a human. They said you're from Earth.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I was
going through the wiki and I really couldn't find that information on there, and I read the whole page.
Attention alien spacecraft, do you read?
Watch who you call an alien. You don't look so familiar yourself, you know. Who are you?
Colonel Deering, now please be quiet.
Buck gets through. He gets picked up by, I would say, Lieutenant Commander Darren or whatever her name is.
I think she was just regular commander. She was in charge of like the whole defense fleet or whatever. Yeah. She was very important. And then got stuck with babysitting duty for the whole movie.
We got a doctor who was fixing up Buck, I guess, but then he sent him over to a clock doctor.
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah. We got Flava Flav, the android, and his talking clock. I don't understand. I don't even remember. I don't understand why that wasn't just one robot. Why is there one robot that I fucking hate wearing another robot that's fine?
I think for comic value that does not work.
That didn't land at any point. It is like Beady was just annoying every time, and then periodically he would speak English, and the English was always just the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Nice body. Like, what the fuck are you?
Okay, well, that one line I laughed at. But the rest of the things he said were just so annoying.
You're my kind of guy, Buck.
It really should have just been one character. In the original kind of comic book series, he had a human sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess because Star Trek and all this other stuff existed, let's make an android.
Yeah, I don't mind at all him having a robot sidekick. I kind of was interested in the idea of the robot council that was actually apparently not evil and just ran the civilization.
You know,
although based on how well their fighting computers are working, maybe I shouldn't trust them.
Yeah, their ship computers are not very good, but I thought it was interesting that they handed over all their stuff because they admitted they had up the planet.
Yeah, they're like, no, we ruined everything. Someone else should do
so
this.
we handed it over basically to AI.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, especially today.
Yeah, that is interesting, and I would like to see that explored, and I guarantee you that this show will not explore that in any capacity.
Do you think they just lucked upon this?
I think they just put that in there, and then no one is going to... This show is not going to ask questions. This show is going to shoot things and show us girls in bikinis.
So you're saying I should keep watching?
I think you should.
I'm gonna look around the city.
You're under suspicion. You can't.
I'd like to find out what's changed in 500 years.
That's forbidden.
Free country. At least it was.
Technically, you're still under arrest and my prisoner. I can't let you go.
AI, they control temperature in New Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I hear we're gonna have a New Orleans as well.
Okay.
They run the city. They keep people alive. They're slowly fixing the planet from what we did. We had another Holocaust.
We just jumped right into that.
Yeah.
God, this writing was weird. So tell me about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
I don't believe it happened. Bach?
I didn't even compare that to like today and how people stupidly say stuff like that.
Bach? Please, no.
Yeah.
There was that one stupid gag about the south side of Chicago. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fine.
always been dangerous in South Side of Chicago.
Yeah, okay, alright, I can work with this.
So yeah, they bring Buck in. Nobody will just tell him, you were frozen for 500 years. Like, just didn't tell him. And so, like, I felt that was a tedious waste of time.
Yeah.
Of, like, we're not bringing him up to, up to status here. And he has to go on a little side quest to, South Side. And see the mutants who like to drum on things.
Yeah.
And be like,
and he's got some serious NASA combat training.
Oh yeah. I saw him do kicks, which I can't guarantee was his leg.
Yeah.
But
but somebody wearing a very similar uniform was doing kicks.
Doing lots of kicks.
Yeah.
The mutants were coming. He found the gravesite of his parents and I guess somebody else.
Yeah,
too.
like a family grave.
Yeah.
Because everybody just got blued up at the same time, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
The 90s are a rough time in sci-fi.
They are.
You got the eugenics wars. You got whatever the hell this was. It's not good.
It happened, man.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
It's happening.
Or it already did. And Wilma brings her squad out, and it's rover tank with lasers. And
Shoots some lasers.
Shoots at the mutants.
Great. Good job.
Got put on trial.
Oh, yeah,
because they found the secret device.
And he had the worst defense.
Oh, yeah, no, the defense is just like, oh, yes, don't worry, you cannot find him guilty with this. And he says, like, 3 lines of defense, and then it's just like, yeah.
I think he's a nice guy, though.
I think the gag was, oh yeah, there's no way we've got this locked down.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Super lazy.
Yeah.
Lazy comedy. Like Buck's defense of himself was much better than Mr. Attempted Robo Lawyer. Like he had a reason. Like I can't do. Even if you think I'm guilty, I cannot do anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
worry about them.
Yeah.
Because I got ships with weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But their capital flagship is not supposed to have weapons.
Yeah, like, okay, well, saying the ship they send you has no weapons is one thing, but they're also like, this is the flagship of my empire, and I'm like, probably a gun.
Yeah.
Probably a gun on
Do you think when we run into that empire again, they're going to have a identical ship?
I wonder if they will, yeah.
Budgetary reasons. Maybe they'll paint it a different color.
Oh, maybe.
I say to you, my colleagues, that if you find this man guilty, you must find me guilty. My censors tell me that this man is good.
At that point, then Wilma visits Buck and says, hey, like, I want to believe you. Let's go there and let's prove your innocence.
Yeah.
And they go there, and then pirate ships suddenly appear.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you've skipped right over the diplomacy bikini.
That she was wearing when they met there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, great. This is what show we're watching. Diplomatic ceremonial clothing. Do not judge their culture.
You know, Chris, I didn't even try. Like, if I wanted to drive you nuts with, like, a show that's over-sexualized, I can find it.
Well, I mean, there's degrees. Like, you know, it depends on how incongruous it is. I'm sure you can find things that are way more over-sexualized, but I'd just be like, yeah, that's what we're doing here.
Delighted. This is an unexpected pleasure. We are hardly prepared to greet you properly.
Consider your time adequate greeting. I'm Colonel Deering, commander of the 3rd Force of the Earth Directorate, and I believe you already know Captain Rogers.
Anyways, they go out and they fight these things because they claim to be there. They're trying to figure it out. Princess is denying she ever met Buck.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help him. But he can also describe a lot of the quarters here. But they didn't even get a chance to prove that because the pirates show up and they go out and they're like, oh yeah, we're going to help defend you, make sure you get to Earth fine.
Mm-hmm. And they just sit there because that's what their computers say to do.
Yeah, their computers are better at flying and fighting than anything that a human can do. And they all just get taken off. Now, I was hoping that at some point we're going to come around to like, hey, they know our computers and they've got a program.
They could have given me a line about that or something. And that's why Buck does things. But no, Buck is just some guy who's now the greatest fighter pilot of all time.
Well, you know, he went to manual.
Yeah, I put it on manual.
Have you tried spinning? That's a neat trick.
It is a neat trick.
Yeah. Basically takes out every single one after all his people. She's just like, leave it on autopilot. Stay out of this. Mm-hmm. Like, this person's about to. All their allies got destroyed except for Wilma and him.
And you know, it probably is fairly possible that Buck has a lot of fighter pilot experience. Like that's often a great way to get into NASA. You know,
Jack O'Neill.
Yeah, through the Air Force, that kind of thing. But they were so useless. Like, they could have at least had them be kind of competent and Buck needs to come in, but it was just nothing.
They did everything except crash into each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they decide just to leave and give up on that whole, like, search thing.
Yeah, they just left.
Yeah.
That was good. I'm like, what? We went there for a reason.
His execution was supposed to be done right away.
Yeah, but we got to go to the party first.
Yeah, well, the princess requested him to be there, so that probably also helped stave off the execution.
Yeah.
And they got these cool, like, kind of naval, like, admiral uniforms.
Yeah, those
like
look nice. Actually, the party was one of the few things that I thought was done well. I really liked the scene where everybody was dancing. Like, they had this big zoomed out scene, and it was choreographed very well, and they were all in sync.
They all had balls.
Yeah, and, like, whatever that dancing where you're, like, it's clearly just glued to their glove or whatever, but that dancing where you're, like, sort of maybe looking like you're passing a ball around or just keeping it balanced. I thought that was really interesting. Like, that's a cool thing to have in your future.
Yeah.
That was neat.
I mean, nobody was getting down.
But nobody was getting down.
Buck made sure to do that.
Buck made sure. Do you know rock and roll?
Just
feel rock and roll is what happens when you...
Yeah. Did not give him a description of what to play at all. And when he tried something different, he's like, no, just let loose. Just let loose.
Yeah, that's what that means. Super useful.
I feel like this guy's never let loose, but like he figured it out somehow.
Yeah.
He also got the robot to give him a rose so he could give it to the princess.
Mm-hmm. And he also got some headache medication, which can come in later.
Yeah, he got, I think, 3 tablets and was told to take only 1.
Got some Tylenol
Very powerful.
freeze, yeah.
Are you familiar with rock? You know. No, that's not it. Just let yourself go. Let it go. Go with the music. That's it, right? Yeah.
Dances with the princess.
Mm-hmm.
That upsets Kane, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it's pretty sexy. The princess got pretty down with it, and everybody else is like, "What the fuck?"
Mm-hmm. This weird caveman.
Yeah, she's just like, "Hey, meet me on my ship later for some fucking."
Mm-hmm.
And Kane's just like, "What are you doing, stupid bitch?" And she's like, shut up, you are not the princess. You do not have my power. But he acts like he does.
Yes. And of course, every woman that comes within 5 feet of Buck Rogers falls in love with him immediately.
Well, I'm not a woman, but I felt the urge.
I thought you were a spy, Captain Rogers. I was wrong.
I'm surprised the princess didn't call him out later. She's like, why do you taste like Earth, Colonel?
Yes. Goes up to the ship, which looks so guilty. Like, nobody knows where he went to, but obviously the colonel has an idea.
Yeah, let's just not tell anyone what we're doing.
But, and then of course, TikTok or whatever his name is, Tick, follow him up there.
Yeah.
With Clock AI.
Dr. Flav, I don't know.
Yeah.
I could only think of Flava Flav the entire time.
I'll wear a clock around my neck.
Yeah.
And then, he gets up there and flirts with the princess.
Mm-hmm.
She goes to change into something more comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm wearing basically nothing. I'm wearing a bikini with a hat.
I'm gonna go change into something more comfortable and takes her hat off.
I did like later the robots just like sexy hat.
Yeah.
That was a very sexy hat.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
And so then she comes out without the hat.
Yeah.
Have you nothing to say?
Up until this moment, I didn't know what it was I'd been missing.
Well, I have a confession as well.
There's somebody else back home.
I didn't realize what I was missing.
And during that, this takes a dark turn. I mean, he's already gonna get late, but he's roofing her drink with like 2 of those T3s.
Yeah. I think it is implied that they went at it.
Well, they were making out.
Yeah.
And then the light switch, which he knew where the light switch was. Alien spacecraft. Come on, guys.
That's suspicious. I think he might be a spy.
He might be. And I think she told him her plan. She needs a man, a real man.
For some reason.
Yeah. Well, she wants to overthrow her dad. She wants.
And Buck Rogers just needs to stand over here while she does that, I guess.
There are 29 other sisters.
Yeah.
That she could be replaced with. Daddy got it on.
Well, I mean, look at their diplomatic clothing in their world. Maybe that makes sense.
Yeah.
I could see how that would happen.
Maybe it's really hot on their planet, so they just don't have a lot.
Maybe it's a desert planet.
Yeah, so you don't want to wear a lot of clothing. You just sweat the whole time.
All right.
We got a brief glimpse of Dad through a holographic transmission.
He was very angry.
He was very angry and stereotypical.
Yeah.
Quite the stereotype.
Quite the stereotype, the tagline of this movie.
Yeah.
Just following orders.
And just whose orders were you following?
Your daughters, sir.
I mean, we also had samurai guards. With full, kind of helmets and stuff and armor.
Yeah.
And apparently they piloted the ships, too.
Yeah.
That does not seem like something you would wear into a cockpit.
Maybe it's flexible. Maybe it breathes.
Maybe. I was expecting a lot more sexism during this.
I mean, we got it. It wasn't incredibly overt, but there was a lot, we were putting women in these positions of power and then undermining them immediately as soon as Spock shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, well, yeah, but I'm gonna do it better.
Passes out, he tries to leave, but there's Tiger Man.
Yeah.
And he has to steal his gun because nobody feels guns being pulled out of holsters.
Also, holsters, you can, no holster right now, that is a serious holster made right now, you can just pull a gun out of.
Yeah.
They have safeties for that.
Well, you got a clip.
But whatever.
But I mean, you don't know he's gonna leave the clip on, right?
I guess so.
He shoots Tiger Man twice. And he freezes.
Yeah, that was kind of cute.
Yeah.
I did like Buck's sort of surprise after he shot him, and he's like, oh yeah, I guess it's a space gun. It does space things. Sure. That's kind of funny.
I like what he did.
If we'd leaned into this angle more with the movie, where he's just like, oh yeah, space shit, and he's learning that way. But he never learns anything. He just does.
I keep watching these shows that are supposed to be comedies, and they need another work over the script.
Yeah.
I like what he does with Tiger Man, though.
Yeah.
Because he throws him in the bed and puts the covers over him. So then later, Kane's like, the hell's going on? Goes finds Princess, and she's just, leaning over, and it's just like, oh, I hope these explosions or whatever didn't wake you.
Yeah.
And then it's like, kill him! Kane's just like, don't kill him, question him first. Take him to interrogation.
Yeah.
Tiger Man's on your side. I think he's going to tell you everything he knows.
Yeah, he is. I'm not... Did he ever actually speak, or did he just say, ah?
I think he's,
I think he just said,
Did they wake you, my little baby? Get him out! Execute him!
No. Remove him for questioning.
You countermand my order.
Under the circumstances, yes.
He's just running around, throwing missiles in the back. Nobody notices. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, he took out a guard.
He did take out a guard, and he's wearing their outfit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ships, when they try to leave, when Wilma and the fleet come up, just explode.
Just kaboom.
Either they explode in the hangar or they fly out for a few seconds and explode there.
Immediate kaboom.
I mean, a couple got out so that we could see that people switched the manual.
I guess Buck didn't blow up literally every ship by himself. Yeah.
Well, I think he blew them up 3 or 4 times worth.
Yeah.
I think we just kept reusing them.
Yes, I think we saw the same ship blow up a few times.
Tick and Flavor Flav. They were hiding, and then they see what Buck's doing, and they blame Buck. They're like, "You are a spy. I believed you."
Mm-hmm.
And Buck's like, "I'm loading missiles, like you can literally see."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Okay." He's like, "Go send out a communication." So he goes and he tells Wilma, and he's like, "Hey, Buck is helping me. This.
Shit's going
So
down.
that's when she brings permission to bring the fleet.
Yeah.
Or get destroyed. Your choice.
Yeah.
You'll never be the man Buck Rogers is.
We'll see when we meet Mr. Rogers again. And we will.
I hope so.
They escape. They go to an escape pod where later she just berates them more and be like, "He's a real man."
Yeah, like what the fuck?
I hope
lady?
I do meet him again.
What the fuck, lady? You're dead. Both of you are. I mean, obviously they're going to keep coming back because they're the villains and it's 1979.
Well, Kane
And,
gets recast according to Wiki, so they could have killed him.
Yeah. So like they're just doing Team Rocket, and I assume they're going to be in. That's not a reference you're going to get. They're just doing Team Rocket, and I assume they're going to be in every single episode, and then get shot out into space at the end, and then keep coming back every single time.
Yeah, I think
that's the vibe I'm getting.
First season, she's definitely the main villain who wants to sleep with Buck the whole time, I'm sure. Wilma picks up Buck. Yeah, they head back, and she's just like, "Buck, I thought you were a spy, but you proved your loyalty to me. I don't normally open up to people and all this stuff, but when we get back, it'll be different. I'm going to show you."
I'm just as much of a woman as the princess.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Good.
I was like, just hand over all your power to a man.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we watched the first 5 minutes of the second episode, and
she's riding shotgun.
He's flying the ship, and she's in the back seat. Now, aren't you the commander of the entire fucking fleet, lady?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It was the 70s.
79, man, I wasn't even alive.
Nope.
Yes, I thought the princess had you beguiled.
Well, I will say she had the nicest set of horns at the ball.
Yes, it was an attractive hat.
Is that a nice TOS feel to it? Battlestar Galactica feel to it?
Yeah, I recognize the extremely obnoxious robots from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Although Battlestar, the original, at least looked phenomenal.
Did we already go on how that should be one
really
character?
Yes. Yeah, those two should have been one character, and it should have just been the Doctor. Like, nothing about Tick Tick should survive.
I swear if I had actually watched that...
I actually don't know if that was the name. I don't want to know its name.
If I had watched that before we watched it, I would have dubbed over it with a different voice that I made up.
Yeah.
And just changed his dialogue and improved it.
Yes.
Well, at least Tweaky's on my side. Matter of fact, I kind of like it out here. It's a bit primitive, but then it is the south side of Chicago.
And it just kept repeating.
Yeah.
It's just like, who? What? And it's just like, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. Shut up.
Like, that could have been funny delivered better. Yeah. It could have been funny.
Well, it had 2 seasons. Second season was cut short. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming nobody else found it funny, even back then.
Possibly not. But even just the... yeah, I hated everything about that robot. I don't want to go on.
Final thought, me, Chris.
Final thought. Good God, this was schlock. I see why it was fun. I see why if you were a 16-year-old boy in 1979 and this was just on TV, you'd be like, holy shit.
Oh, I wonder.
TV is amazing.
I wonder how many people dress up as Buck Rogers.
Yeah, I mean, I know the name. I know Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. I know that title. I've seen people talk about it before. But yeah, this is action schlock. Usually when we're here together, we're talking about a movie or a show that has something to say. Like it has something to say about the world we live in.
This has something to say about AI.
I guess. Maybe.
It says that we should hand over the keys to the world to AI.
Yeah, but this is just saying, hey you like tits and explosions, right? And I do. I do. But execute it a little better, please.
Yeah.
Did the transmitter we secreted aboard his ship provide the necessary information to bring my father's forces through their defense shield?
Yes, however, the transmitter has been discovered.
It's too bad.
It makes no difference.
We had to find something sci-fi.
We did. And we did. And good God, we're doing this again next week, aren't we?
Well, we won't do Buck.
Oh, we're doing something different?
Oh, unless you want to run through the whole series.
No.
Okay. I wasn't going to force you to run through the whole series.
Okay.
I figure we'll find a different show or a different movie each week.
I might bully my friends into doing this for a couple of episodes, because that was bad and they should suffer too.
You just want to know how episode 2 Slave Girls Planet works.
You're going to tell me before I get a chance to, so it doesn't matter.
Guaranteed you leave. I'm watching it.
By flying out to meet the Draconia flagship to verify your story about them finding you.
And do a little looking around while you're there?
Exactly.
Yeah, honestly, watch the trailer for Buck Rogers in the 20th Century. You will get a laugh. I definitely got a laugh to the point where I'm just like, we should review this. This looks hilarious.
No, this was like, it's definitely a watch with a friend and just talk through it and laugh at it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, we enjoyed the time we spent watching this.
Yeah, just imagine if we had Sean even more jokes.
Yeah.
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 More friends, more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some alcohol. As always, guys, thanks for watching and good luck.